Okay, here we are again. Next devotional. We're running through the book of James, and we're actually starting today on verse 12. James 1, verse 12. Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to those who love him. So, verse 12. Blessed is the man who endures. Could you say resists temptation? For when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to those who love him. Oh boy, this is a big deal. When we think about temptation, temptation is everywhere. But do we have the spiritual foundation to resist temptation? But before that, do we have the spiritual foundation to know when we are being tempted? The thing about temptation is it always appeals to the desires of the flesh, pride of life, lust for things, lust in general, lust for pleasure. So literally every day when you wake up, you open your eyes, you're in the battlefield, and temptation is everywhere. So we need to spiritually discern this temptation, and we need to love the Lord our God more than our own lives, more than temporary pleasure. You remember Moses left the comfort of royalty in Egypt because he recognized it was just temporary. And evidently he had a higher calling, didn't he? To usher the Israelites out of Egypt. So we're going to move on. But temptation is a big deal. We got to recognize it. We got to resist it. And having an eternal perspective helps us to resist temptation. So we're not living only for here and now. We are laying a foundation for the future. Moving on to verse 13. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he himself tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he's drawn away by his own desires and enticed. See, the devil knows exactly what buttons to push for you. He knows what will get your attention. He knows what will distract you. And so do you. But each one is tempted when he is drawn away by his own desires and enticed. Then, when desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it's full grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brethren. Every good and perfect gift is from above, and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variableness nor shadow of turning. Of his own will he brought us forth by the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Can you imagine that? You and I are first fruits of his creation. Imagine that. So if we are first fruits, well, I guess there's going to be second fruits, third fruits, fourth fruits. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I know that this limited amount of time that we have on earth is passing quickly. And if eternity spanned from as far as you can go to the right and left, the time we spend on earth is this small. Yet it's going to impact our eternity. So let's be sure to recognize temptation, to resist temptation, and recognize that all of our good gifts come from above, from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow of turning. So we have a faithful God, faithful King, and we need to keep our focus on him because he is the author and the finisher of our faith. Guys, I want you to be encouraged. Please read the book of James with me. I know that there are other readings going on at church, and I encourage you to be a part of those. But read this, meditate this, consider these things so that we can grow in grace and truth and be more effective at growing the kingdom of God. Have a great day.